the parent is angry at the child, they start screaming at the child, stop it, don't cry. But if I'm a child and I'm just learning that, right? Why can't I scream when I'm upset?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Masumi from EduGuru. Parenting can be complicated and overwhelming, so
let's talk about parenting.
I'm Jigna from Toddler International Preschool.
And hi everyone, my name is Chia Yan. I'm a clinical psychologist by profession. So I spend most of my week doing psychological assessment and therapy with children, adolescents, and adults. So I do have the front row seat of how our experiences shape us we become. But on weekends, I actually teach kids between ages 3 and 12 in a local church, yeah. And I'm also a designated babysitter for my nephews and niece. So this is where I really test all my theories right in the real world. So I'm really excited today to talk about parenting because I see it from 3 different angles. The therapy room, the classroom, and sometimes the living room. Yeah.
Do you think fear is really the best strategy for parenting?
I think fear is a very effective short-term strategy, but a very poor long-term one. Because fear can control behavior temporarily, but it does not necessarily build understanding, self-control, or trust. So, for example, right, if I ask you, do you drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, and why do you stop at a red light?
Because I'm supposed to. I don't drive.
You're supposed to. And why are you supposed to stop at a red light? What happened?
So, because I don't want to have an accident. And yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get into an accident.
Yeah.
So that's one way where you value safety, right? So that's good because you have an internal value. But a lot of times, even as adults right now, we stop at red light because of 2 possible reasons. One is I value safety, myself and everyone else's. But another is because I don't want to get
I don't want to summon.
Yeah, I don't want to get summoned. So both would also make us stop at a red light, but one is teaching us internal value, safety. Yeah. So parenting works the same as well. Fear, you can stop the behavior at the moment immediately. But what happens when the parents are no longer watching? Are they still choosing the right thing or different thing? Yeah.
Like when they're in school, right?
Yeah.
Just to add that, as you said, a parent may say, be nice to your friends,
Yeah.
otherwise, or I will do this.
Yeah.
But when the child goes to school, parent is not watching. What
Yeah.
if they're bullying someone at that point because no one is watching and there's no internal system of value?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think to add on that, you know how parents like to say, share, you know, help someone, okay, then I'll give you a reward.
Yeah.
That also does not help because what I'm learning is that, oh, I have to do all this to get a reward, so if I don't have a reward, then
I'll just be what I want to be. Yeah, I think definitely in the past, maybe a few generations ago, we were used to being brought up with fear and a compliance-based system. But as we became parents, we started telling our children to ask questions. Don't follow blindly, please ask questions, but then we still want to instill fear. So it kind of like goes against each other and confuses a child maybe. And yeah, it's definitely not then the best way to get.
And it's funny because you know how parents, I don't know if it's good parents or adults say that, do as I say, not do as I do. And it's funny because if the parent is angry at the child, they start screaming at the child, stop it, don't cry. But if I'm a child and I'm just learning that, right? Why can't I scream when I'm upset?
Yeah.
Because right now parents are asking you do as I say, which is stop crying, stop shouting. But don't do as I do, which is a bit confusing because a child, they don't have the capacity to understand that.
Especially 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Or 4-year-old.
Exactly, yeah.
So, what do we think is a healthier way to guide behavior without relying on fear? Maybe something parents can try when they go home today.
Maybe give very real life choices. For example, instead of saying, if you don't go to sleep right now, the monster will come or the police will catch you. And these policemen are actually people who are supposed to keep us safe. So instead of saying that, maybe if your child enjoys school a lot, you can say if you don't get enough rest, then you'll be too tired to go to school. You might be upset when you get to school and you can't play with your friends. You may not even wake up on time to go to school. Which one do you want? And give possible choices that a 6-year-old can understand and think from.
Yeah, that sounds really good. For me, usually I like to work with acronyms, right? So for me, it's the 3 C's. To connect, to clarify, and consistency. So I don't know if you've heard Professor Daniel Siegel, right, a psychologist, who says connect before you correct. So a lot of times we see a child is upset, we should say don't cry. Yeah. But instead of saying don't cry, right, instead of correcting that behavior, we want to connect the child and really meet them where they are emotionally. So for instance, we can try, okay, looks like you're upset now. Let's find out what really happened. Yeah, so that hopefully shifts, because when they are emotional, right, they are in the big feelings mode. If you're trying to teach me a behavior, I'm not going to be receptive. Yeah, so you want to connect first, just even as adults. Usually we're more receptive for someone to speak into our lives when we have sort of a relationship.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely connection first, and obviously clarity as well. So children thrive when the instructions are predictable. So instead of saying, don't make a mess, you know, oh, you're so messy, all that, it's very hard. What is messy? You know?
Yeah, so whole day.
So instead of saying, don't make a mess, we can try, okay, paint stays on the table.
Yeah.
So that is a bit clearer. So that also comes with consequences. So instead of punishment that don't make sense, right? We could try, let's say, okay, spilled milk. The child knows quite quickly. Yeah. If you throw toys on the floor, okay, the toys gotta rest right now for a while. Okay, so you can't play with it for a while. So you don't want to give some random punishment. Okay, you say I want
Give your toys away to someone.
Correct. Correct. Someone else would appreciate it more. But I don't understand. You know, all those people from don't know, they don't have toys. Yeah, it doesn't really help them to understand at that moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, right? They don't have that capacity to understand. And obviously, that, like I said, consistency earlier, when they say do as I say, not do as I do. So obviously, parents, you want to model that behavior as well. So instead of correcting behavior, you want to figure out what kind of behaviors I want my child to learn and then model that and be consistent. So it cannot be, maybe today my mood is really bad. Then, okay, the instruction, you can play an extra 1 hour.
Yeah.
Then as a child, I'm also a bit confused. Because sometimes when you're in a good mood, I can do this. When you're in a bad mood, I cannot do this. So if let's say you want to have a rule of, we're going to pack our toys right before bedtime. It has to be done every single day. Not only when you have more patience that day and then moving together, but it's really a consistent thing.
Because sometimes you'll have children also noticing your mood and doing everything they can to make sure you're in a good mood today, so they'll get that extra time.
Correct, and it's funny because they're not managing your emotions. So that would be some of the key takeaways. Things to yourself, like 3 C's, which is connect, clarify, and be.
If someone wanted to get more help with parenting or have more questions, where can they find you?
They can find us here in My Psychology Center. We're actually a one-stop hub. So if it's too intimidating for parents to come over and send their child to therapy, a lot of times we also go to the schools and give some trainings, some workshops, just to be a little bit non-threatening, so parents can have that sense of awareness a little bit more and realize that okay, it's actually quite common and also parenting is really chaotic. It's not easy. And then once they have that understanding, then they can come over. So we have therapists who are involved in play therapy, regulation, and also parent coaching. Parents.
And we see a big need out there, which is why toddler that's one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about parenting.